I'm not saying that every person that is involved in the retreat culture is evil. I'm also not saying that nobody should ever study psychedelics. There is legitimate.
Yeah, but when you start putting fucking poison in your body, and then the niggas telling you you're healing when you're on the verge of death, I think you made a wrong choice there, G. I think so. Yo, everyone, what's going on, man? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reacting to The Dark Side of Healing Retreats by Ukrainian Squirrel. So without any further ado, y'all, let go.
Imagine paying thousands of dollars to be poisoned by a frog, vomit into a bucket, hallucinate in a room full of strangers, and then be told that the massive seizure that you just had was just trauma leaving your body. Welcome to modern wellness. Seriously, at some point over the last few years, we somehow went from you should drink more water to you need to drink toxic tea and talk to your past reincarnations about your inner child.
As I like to say, ayahuasca is almost for everyone. So not for 100% of people, but I would say maybe 95%.
It's for everyone. Everyone can benefit in some way, even just being here and being around these people. I think you should just look into it a little bit, sit on it. You know, it'll always be here. It'll be waiting for you when you're ready.
Nowadays, healing has a price tag, an Instagram page, and retreat package. And sometimes even a waiver that basically says, if you die, it's kind of between you and your higher self. Today,
Yeah, you signed the waiver, G. You signed the waiver. You died. That's your business. But now, in terms of retreats, I've been to like not healing retreats, but a couple retreats in my time. I'd say probably 2 or 3, and they're cool. You know, they're cool. I think it really just depends, like the people that end up being there and the people that you go with.
today we're gonna look at what actually happens inside modern wellness retreats, how the algorithm is trapping people, and what happens if the healing goes horribly wrong. To be completely honest with you guys, I didn't even mean to get into this rabbit hole. I was just trying to quit smoking. I was online looking up standard habit changes, productivity apps, self-improvement advice, you know, classic boring stuff. But if you spend enough time on the internet, the algorithm starts doing this weird thing. One day you're watching a video about how to fix your sleep schedule, and 2 weeks later your feed is flooded with content that is trying to hypnotize you, completely reset your soul. You should deprogram your matrix. Breathe with your yoni. It happens so gradually you don't even notice it. You start thinking, well, maybe my bad habits aren't just habits. Maybe it's unsolved trauma from my past life. Maybe I just need to talk to the childhood me.
Bitch, you better be joking.
And that is exactly when wellness industry swoops in to sell you a solution.
Supply and command.
But before we dive any deeper, I want to make one thing super clear. I'm not trying to make fun of spiritual people here. I get why people search for healing, and I can see why people can get frustrated with traditional Western medicine. This video is not about judging ancient rituals or putting prejudice onto traditional medicines used by indigenous cultures. Those practices have deep sacred roots, and the people who traditionally practice them hold them with great respect. This video is about what happens when Western capitalism gets its hands on those rituals, packages them into luxury aesthetics, strips away the culture, and sells them to desperate people for a massive profit. So let's talk about wellness retreats. In my
I'd be sick, bro, if I paid 2.5 bags to sleep on a fucking bunk bed.
Damn!
I'd be heated.
mind, I classify them into 2 categories: the harmless ones and the dangerous ones. First, you have your standard Bali retreat culture. You've probably seen it all over TikTok. It's usually a bunch of influencers paying thousands of dollars to go to gorgeous luxury villas, do some group screaming, or participate in water cleansing rituals. And honestly, it's kind of harmless. If you want to spend 10 grand to fly across the world and scream into waterfall or sit in the darkness for a couple days, sure, you do you, boo. You're single-handedly keeping Bali's tourism economy alive, and honestly, good for you. A pool with fruits and rose petals? Pfft.
Oh yeah, baby.
But then you cross over into the dangerous side, and it usually starts with ayahuasca. If you don't know what ayahuasca is, it's a powerful psychoactive brew made from plants found in the Amazon. Not this Amazon, this Amazon. Traditionally, it's used by indigenous shamans for spiritual healing. But Western wellness has completely commercialized it. Now it's treated like a luxury spiritual shortcut. People pay thousands to go to these healing centers where they drink this stuff, experience hours-long hallucinations, and vomit violently. Ayahuasca usually contains DMT, a powerful hallucinogenic compound. In the United States,
Bro, I took DMT once. And that is like the highest level of drug I think I've taken. DMT once. And I was out in the back garden of my nan's house with my auntie and my uncle. Yes, very bad influences. If you're watching this, auntie and uncle, very bad influences. But yeah, they handed me the DMT. I took a little drag of that, bro. When I tell you the shed and everything just started moving and melting for like 5 minutes straight, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good off that. I don't need that again, bro. Just give me a zoot, a normal zoot, bro. Some star dog in it, maybe some gelato or something. That's it. I'm good.
DMT is a Schedule 1 controlled substance, so it's not just a plant tea. It is marketed as a quick fix to all of your mental health issues, but in reality, it carries massive health risks if it's not handled properly. Experience 10 years of therapy in just one night.
10 years of therapy in 10 hours?
Is it really that?
Oh my God.
So studies have shown that one ayahuasca ceremony is equal to 10 years of therapy.
And they say it's the equivalent of 10 years of psychotherapy in one night.
Yeah, because it's a whole high like nothing else. I don't know. Bro, it's scary. It's actually scary.
This is one of the most dangerous
And they're
sentences
consuming that shit
these
all night.
wellness influencers love to say. Because 10 years of therapy in one night sounds amazing. Until you remember that therapy usually happens slowly for a reason. Maybe I am close-minded, maybe I don't know anything. But I think that you're not supposed to speedrun your deepest trauma with a stranger holding a rattle. But it gets even weirder than the tea. Lately, the wellness world has become obsessed with Kambo and Bufo. Kambo is literally frog poison. To do it, a facilitator takes a stick and burns tiny holes into your skin and rubs this toxic secretion from the Amazonian frog into your open wounds.
Why?
Within minutes, your heart starts racing, your face
Why?
swells up, and you start violently vomiting and sweating. And sometimes there's diarrhea too.
Damn.
That is such a like I'm vomiting type of breath that yeah, you're trying to take in all the air possible, bro.
The wellness coaches tell you that it's purging. It's just your body is releasing the negative energy and toxins. I hate this word now.
No, nigga, you just putting poison into yourself. Oh my gosh.
Purging. But let's be real for a second now. You're throwing up because you just put actual poison into your bloodstream. Your body probably isn't just cleansing trauma. It's literally fighting for its life to get the toxins
Literally.
out. The industry has somehow convinced people that the feeling like you're dying is automatically a healing. Sometimes feeling like you're dying means that you need medical help. So according to this logic, every time I threw up after 4 shots of vodka was me cleansing my soul all. Goofy me, I thought I was just being a stupid teenager. But jokes aside, the medical reality of this stuff can be incredibly dangerous. First of all, there's zero medical oversight at most of these retreats. In fact, studies have shown that 90% of the surveyed retreats actually require you to stop taking your regular medications, including antidepressants. Think about how reckless that is. They tell people to quit doctor-prescribed medications cold turkey. It can completely destabilize your mental health. But these retreats force you to do it anyway, because if you mix antidepressants, anxiety medication, or even heart medicine with things like ayahuasca, it can be fatal. It can cause something called serotonin syndrome, which can literally kill you. On top of that, extreme vomiting and diarrhea can cause serious dehydration, which puts a massive stress onto your kidneys and heart. People have suffered cardiac arrest right there on the floor of the yoga studio. And psychologically, I read studies. If someone already has underlying mental health risks or history of psychosis, forcing them into intense and unsupervised hallucination can trigger permanent psychological break. The US State Department has warned travelers not to use ayahuasca or kambo because of known dangers. They stated that US citizens have suffered serious illnesses, died, and also reported being sexually assaulted, injured, or robbed while under the influence. I am not saying that every person that is involved in the retreat culture is evil. I'm also not saying that nobody should ever study psychedelics. There is legitimate.
Yeah, well, when you start putting fucking poison in your body, and then the niggas telling you you're healing when you're on the verge of death. I think you made a wrong choice there, G. I think so.
Research happening. Like, there are doctors and scientists that are studying the substances in controlled settings. But the key phrase here is controlled settings. Clinical research is not the same thing as a retreat. Because wellness gurus, they love borrowing the credibility of science while completely avoiding its discipline. They say, studies show that psychedelics can improve your mental health. But then they skip over the monitoring, dosing, ethical board, emergency support, and trained professionals. So now, after my long speech, you might be thinking, why do I care? It's happening somewhere in the middle of the Amazon forest, right? No, I googled ayahuasca near me as a joke, and I wasn't laughing when it showed me one right outside Orlando, Florida. Yeah, the same place where we have Disney World, Publix, and this store. So this sacred sanctuary place calls itself a church, or as I call it, a loophole, where they openly perform ayahuasca ceremonies. And guys, it's not an indigenous shaman running the show. It's usually just some random white dude with a financial or business background.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within 3 minutes.
Named Brother Dean, wearing linen pants and charging you $1,000 for a weekend retreat. By calling themselves a church, they can distribute these substances under religious freedom, completely bypassing any safety or medical regulations. And it's not just harmless loophole. It has tragic real-world consequences. We need to talk about another ayahuasca place called Soul Quest, which was also located just outside Orlando. A few years ago, a 22-year-old college student named Brandon Bagley went for a weekend retreat there to heal some personal struggles. During the ceremony, he drank the brew and had a massive violent reaction. He started seizing, hallucinating, and drinking a massive amount of water, which caused his sodium to drop to dangerous level. Instead of immediately calling 911, the staff at the retreat, who had zero medical training, tried to manage his bad trip for hours. By the time they finally got him to the hospital, it was way too late. Brandon passed away and his family was left completely devastated, all because of some self-proclaimed healers. And in 2024, a Florida jury found that negligence from SoulQuest and its founder was a legal cause of Brandon's death. This highlights the massive problem in the industry, the difference between traditional practitioners and self-appointed wellness scammers. In indigenous culture,
But sure, but that's such like it's a real grey area, that is, because well, yes, they don't give correct medical treatment. I'm sure that they do say that on signing up. They probably are like, look, we're not trained medical professionals. Like, come at here at your own risk. And yeah, he again, he signed up for it. So
becoming a shaman takes decades of training, community accountability, and deep understanding of the medicine. But in modern wellness world, anyone can go on a week-long workshop, buy a drum, and call themselves a certified facilitator. These people don't know anything about medicine, pharmacology, or mental health.
It's narcissistic abuse, which is where all evil comes from. It's selfishness, total selfishness. There's no reason to be employed. No reason whatsoever. It's all nonsense. Slaves work hard their whole lives for a house that you never really own. When you stop possessing and stop hoarding money and stop doing all of those things, then other people have chances to have enough too. So it's just these really rich people that aren't getting it. Being an employer means is putting people under your thumb and keeping them dumb enough to not take over your position. When you have
So let's talk.
Beat me. If you said there will be no... Fuck your grandparents.
They're just entrepreneurs who realize that spirituality is a lucrative business model with zero to no government regulation. And because there's no regulation, it opens the door for some real dark shit. When you're under the influence of these substances, you're completely vulnerable. You lose your motor skills, your judgment is impaired, and you are entirely dependent on the person who's running the room. This creates a terrifying power imbalance. There have been countless reports and lawsuits involving assaults at these retreats. Self-appointed gurus use the cover of energy healing or body work to take advantage of people who are physically unable to say no or give consent. And because the culture tells you that everything happens for a reason and that your discomfort is just resistance to healing, victims are often gaslit into thinking that abuse is just a part of spiritual process. Touching becomes energy work, isolation becomes a private healing, questions and reporting become you're just not ready to heal. So if this world is so dangerous, why it looks so appealing online? Because influencers give a beautiful aesthetic gloss.
The second night I went to hell for eternity. Yeah.
And the medicine said, now get up and dance. And the medicine said, you really want to second guess us now? I'm like, no.
For me, it sort of had this very unifying
the medicine
idea that we are...
said.
Damn.
The medicine said. Oh, gosh.
Connected. We are all one.
For months afterwards, I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would feel like I had been having a conversation and I had just woken up into the middle of my mind having a conversation. And then an idea would be presented to me.
Ayahuasca really was... That was the turning point.
What?
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of suicide.
And I never had a suicidal thought again.
But it was also, one of the most meaningful...
And I never had a suicidal...
Really?
Thought again.
But it was also...
That was the woman you chose to represent.
one of the most meaningful experiences that I've had on drugs.
They talk about how they found themselves and how it changed their entire life. They make it look safe, exclusive, and trendy. They turn an unpredictable chemical experience into a luxury lifestyle product that you need to buy if you want to be truly evolved. They market these experiences like they're universally beneficial. But if someone's saying it healed me, doesn't mean it cannot harm someone else.
Bruh, you're just paying a load of money to take some drugs. Literally. Just be in the forest taking drugs. But with that being said, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you think down below. Yeah, 2 videos dropping every single day. Support some, can check me out. Peace and prosperity. I'm gone.